box. Cannonball, don't trust a cop. Johnny Spotswood just don't know when to stop. Yeah, and if you don't like it, you better take your ass up to the snooty box, because this is the loud spot. Okay, see you later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian Cosby, right out of Oklahoma City. Today we have a very special episode for you guys. We have the band Dishwalla. What's going on, fellas?
Hello.
Hey. And then,
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Then we have Miss Ava Gore, who set this all up. So hi, Ava, and thank you, and I hope you're doing well today.
I am. Thanks.
Awesome. The band Dishwalla, I've learned, since you guys are going to be on the show, is actually a household name. Like, everywhere knows who Dishwalla is.
Well, I think what's cool is like a bunch of people's moms knew who we were, and then that next generation of kids now know who we are.
Yeah. So let's talk. I want to jump into the tour that never happened in 2020.
Coronavirus.
But it was important because it was their 25th year anniversary, right?
It was an important year to tour. It was, it was not. I wouldn't say it was an important year to tour. It was just a significant year to tour. And then, we've got to postpone that, obviously.
Yeah, and then you guys came out with your last album was 2017?
Was it? Was it that long ago?
It was, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Time for another record.
Yeah, you guys have a new single coming out, according to George.
Oh, George, you went and you slipped out the secret sauce there.
I think the quote was, "You can say whatever the F you want."
Yes, that's exactly right. You can say whatever you want.
When you text me late at night and go, "Hey, we're going to do this podcast. What do you want me to say?" and I'm half asleep, I text back, talk about whatever the F you want. I guess that's my default response.
My default is to promote the band. So anyway, yeah, we got the single coming out.
That's the best part this summer. And by saying it, now it has to happen, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, Lord.
Well, good. We're glad we forced you to have to come out with an album or a new single anyways this coming summer. That's awesome.
I think we're too lazy to do a full record during COVID. I think it was just going to have to be a bunch of songs instead of a record. That I don't think anyone does a whole record in their sweatpants. I don't know. Not me. I'm too lazy.
I really don't think any bands nowadays are coming out with albums anyways. I think the kind of the new thing. See, the thing is from 1995 is that's when the album came out with Counting Blue Cars, but the single dropped in 1996, right?
Right.
Is that how that worked? So I think now it's completely different where you just drop singles and then I maybe eventually drop an album.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
You just keep re-releasing the same song over and over again. Released one version, then the remix, then the lyric video, then in another language, then bring it all back for a 1 year since we released the song and then release it again.
Counting Blue Cars was actually biggest in Germany before it was ever known in the States. We put the record out there first. So the whole album and especially that song blew up there. And then at the same time, it blew up in Brazil. So it was all over these different weird places. Philippines was another before it was ever even really big in the States. And so we'd always talked about doing a Brazilian, a Portuguese version or a German version, which would have sounded really super weird. So we never did it, but it would have been cool. It would have been sound when he goes back in the day, they would dub 90210 was the big show back then, so they would dub that over in German, and it sounded like old war movies. So that's probably what the song would have sounded like too.
That's cool. So take us back to when did the band originally get signed?
95, I think 94, 95.
It was 94, I think, when 94? We got early 94.
Yeah, because then the Carpenters thing was 95, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so take us back to 1994, 1995. The band started. You're getting all this hype. What was it like to, I guess, at one point realize that your band's really onto something big and you're getting a tour? What was the feeling of your first big tour signed to a record label?
Well, the first tour was with Better Than Ezra, and we kind of had, we didn't have a 0 to 60 thing because we had played around LA forever and Santa Barbara, but then all of a sudden we had this record in the can, and they're putting us on a plane, and I can't remember. Do you remember where the first show was, Jim?
Michigan. Yeah.
That's right, Michigan. Yeah.
Blind Pig.
The Blind Pig. That's right. Whoa. And we kind of already had a little bit of steam because we did this Carpenter's tribute album, and had that "It's Going to Take Some Time" thing happening. But really, like, we just kind of hit the ground running, and I would say I think it was like 2 years from that start date that we were out on the road. It was 600 shows in 2 years that we did.
Jesus, 600 shows in 2 years?
Yeah.
You were that's like a like a show every other day almost, right?
Yeah, we were doing 4 to 5 days a week, and we'd be out like 2.5 months at a time, and we'd be home for about a week to 10 days, and then go out again, and then we'd have to then you did that, and then you go to Europe for 3 months, without coming home at all. And then there were also the in stores, like the Tower Records performances, and you go into 3 radio stations in the morning. So really, the 600 shows that Polestar counted were just the ones that you actually were booked at a venue. But the Tower Records in store and the radio stations in the morning, they didn't count that. So it was probably more like 900 appearances in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, we do 4 or 5 a day sometimes.
Yeah.
So you guys took a long break from kind of being Dishwalla. What's it like now, kind of, getting back in the groove? I mean, it's been a few years, obviously, but it was a long time in between.
You mean pre-COVID or COVID, like now?
I can't even think
Pre-COVID.
about pre-COVID times. It feels like an eternity ago.
That seems like a lifetime ago. But we did nothing but Dishwalla for like 15 years straight. And so then we got to a point where like, okay, I can't do this anymore. This just has to like park for a little bit. So we took a break for a couple of years and then came back, started doing shows. That's when Justin first came on in 2008. He walked in on a 1 week notice and sang for 70,000 people at the Rock Fest.
Good job.
And nailed it. And then we're like, what the hell? Okay, we got a singer. So so that's kind of, ever since then it's been kind of on and off because everybody's got different projects and live stuff going on. So, there's a lot of different, everybody's got a lot of different irons in the fire now. So, we do it when we can, and it's always awesome to do. We're overdue for another record. But
yeah, I think the older you get, probably the harder it is to get a whole band back together, especially when it comes to touring. I do want to ask Justin a question. Yeah. Did you know the band before joining Dishwalla? Were you guys already friends?
Yeah, I knew him for a few years. I knew Jim. I was in another band before Dishwalla, and Jim, he co-produced and engineered and recorded a record up in Weed with Sylvia Massey, and that's how I really got to know Jim. But I knew Jim before that from the band. I used to have a studio in Montecito, and Dishwalla came in and back in the day and used it to do some album prep and rehearsals there for a couple weeks, and that's when I really got to know them pretty well. And that was pre-production for Opaline record that came out in 2000, so that was a long time ago. Wow. Yeah. So and being kind of a local Santa Barbara kid myself, I grew up, Dishwalla was omnipresent. They were the hometown guys, the band. When I was in high school, Dishwalla was all over MTV and was like the biggest band around from our town. I mean, you had Ugly Kid Joe and some bands that came later, and obviously Toad Wet Sprocket was around that time, but I mean, Dishwalla was it, man. So I definitely knew of them, and you always would hear rumors, Dishwalla's rehearsing at this place, or Dishwalla made it, they're over here. We heard, there's always rumors of what Dishwalla was doing, and it was this mysterious thing, back in the day, but I feel like I've known them forever. I feel like I've known you guys forever. I also feel like I haven't seen you in forever. I'm glad. I'm glad, Jim. I'm glad to see you're like shaved and like.
Oh yeah,
you look well. Sometimes we don't see Jim for 2 months, and we get together. You know, we have some gigs, and then we first time we see each other in months, like at the airport when we're loading into the bus or whatever's happening, and like Jim will step off and he's like, "What?" It's like that meme. What year is it? He's got a beard and his hair's all like, "Oh man, you got to come down off the mountain sometime."
I live in the middle of nowhere in the woods, so.
That's fun. Has the band planned? I know you guys are coming out with a new single at least. Have you already talked about plans of going back out on tour since you couldn't tour last year? Has it been rescheduled or talks about rescheduling?
Are you saying plans or arguments about when we're going to do this?
Has the band been arguing about who should go on, if you guys should or not?
I'm not
should
going to
tour?
name names. I'm not going to name names, but I'm just saying, you know, it's hard to get everybody on the same page. One. And also, it's hard for me to field phone calls from our agent who's crying on the phone saying, "When are you going to start touring again?" But no. But we're going to do it. You know, I think that a bunch of our friends, everyone's starting to take early gigs in even June. I'm starting to see a few dates in July and into the summer, and we're going to just see how that goes for everybody. Yeah. And then, you know, we'll jump back in the deep end and do a tour probably. I mean, I'm not scared. I got 2 shots.
I did find would you have something to say?
Yeah, I have a question for George that isn't really band related.
What is that?
Is Rock Shop still a thing? Because I miss Rock Shop so much.
You know what? It hasn't since COVID. But I just
that makes sense.
Found a new location. It's the building below Soho, and it's much bigger. And it's going to come back probably a little closer to where it started, like where it was just a few of you and not a huge, like 25 people thing, just because they can't have that many people. But yeah, it's still a thing. And it's still
awesome.
going to, yeah.
And so what that is, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I've known George for a long time now, and Rock Shop Academy is like a music camp, and I used to go and like, I don't even know if I was even considered a counselor.
Well, you started out as just a camper, and then at the end there, when you were going to City College, for sure a counselor, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh,
and you guys did a benefit show. I do want to talk about your tour in 2017 that you played with some really cool bands, but I did find this really neat version of Chasing Blue Cars that I think is the newest one recorded in New York was it Paste Studios or something like that?
That actually was a very busy day for us. We had a lot of appearances, and there's a lot of funny stories that happened in between those, like Jim trying to shove a keyboard into the back of an Uber to get across town, and the Uber driver driving away with my hand stuck in the handle because he didn't want to take the keyboard into it. So Jim and I had to push a keyboard like 15 New York blocks from Fox Studio or
just
something.
The two of you had to do that? Just the two of you?
The keyboard, George. Where were you?
What was I pushing?
You went back to the hotel and slept.
You took the Uber, man. Jim and I stopped for tacos. It was a whole adventure with the keyboard case.
That was awesome. It's like this thing that's normally like about this big by this big, but it happened to be like the size of a house with wheels and weighed like 250 pounds. And so it wouldn't fit in any car or cab or anything. And we tried to get it into this like Lincoln black car. And we got it like halfway in, and the driver was like, "No!" and literally tried to drive away with it, and then like pushed it out. Then it was like lying in the street, and then we just rolled it all the way back.
We stopped for tacos though, and they were delicious.
Yeah,
we really worked up an appetite, and we had like 3 appearances there. We had like I thought we did Fox the morning TV,
yeah,
and then we did we were in Rolling Stone. I don't remember the order.
Or no, Westwood One.
We had no sleep those few days, but I know we had to do like 3 things all at once and end it with a gig that night in Times Square or something. And this was one of those like, okay, stop in here and do this song on your way to some other place. And if I remember the keyboard that you had to this gig, because the other keyboard, something happened to it. So we had to run over to a Guitar Center or something, which does that even exist anymore? And
yes, they do.
You bought like a $99 keyboard and you ran over
the Mattel version or something.
So Jim is playing like a $99 keyboard. George is
just on your lap too. It's not even on a stand.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know. We bought it at a pawn shop for that.
Yeah, we got in a bad habit of getting lazy and buying used gear, using it for the gig, and then leaving it at wherever we are at the airport, and just so we don't have to pay for the checked baggage home.
That's actually a good idea. That's not a bad idea.
The way these airlines work, it's more money to bring the damn thing back than just buy one and leave it there.
Right? No, that's actually pretty cheap. I never thought about that, but yeah, if you can find something cheap at like a pawn shop, then it's worth it. All right, so the cool version, I like this version of the song. It's an acoustic version. I don't know if that's like coffee or books behind you guys. I can't tell what that is in the video.
It's the Paste magazine.
I think those are
okay.
I think that's tape.
Those are tapes.
Those are tapes, magnetic real tapes of master recordings. Yeah.
Let's check this song out right now. Here we go.
Awesome.
Oh, there's that keyboard.
Nice shirt.
Must have been mid-afternoon. I could tell by how far the child shadow stretched out.
I'm wearing the same T-shirt as I am in the video. That's incredible.
In the sneakers down the street.
I just want to pause it so everyone hears that he's wearing the same exact T-shirt in this video that he's wearing right now. That's awesome.
I'm rocking the Little Hurricane T-shirt. Hey, it's because it's so soft. I love this shirt.
Many questions like children often do. He said, tell me your thoughts on God. Tell me, am I very far? Must have been late afternoon. On our way, the sun broke free from the clouds. And we count only blue cars, skip the cracks in the street and ask many questions like children often do. We said, tell me your thoughts on God, 'cause I really like to meet her and ask her why we're who we are. And tell me your thoughts on God, 'cause I really like to see her. So tell me alongside people and ask many questions like children often do. Tell me all your thoughts on God, 'cause I really like to meet her and ask her why we're who we are. Hey. And tell me all your thoughts on God, 'cause I'm on my way to see her. So tell me, am I very far? Am I very far now? Am I very far now? Am I very far now? Tell me,
Yay.
Mhm.
There you go. You got the keyboard in there. I got to ask a question because everyone tells you to ask this question, and it's the most. It's not even that great of a question. But whenever I tell everyone I'm having Dishwalla on, people are saying, "Can you ask them what their thoughts on God are?" So I have to ask that question.
You don't have to answer that.
No. Well,
God is a woman.
you do not have to answer that.
I
but
support that.
I would be my friends make fun of me if I didn't ask the question. So I did ask that, and I guess that George was saying earlier, is that like an ongoing joke? You said it might be an ongoing joke in the household now, not from your band, but just generally speaking.
Well, no, I think it's like a saying now. Kids say thoughts on God to each other, and I've heard my kids' friends saying it, and I don't think they even know who the band is. So I don't think it's from us.
I think it is. I think somehow in this weird wormhole, like it is related somehow to Dishwalla, and the kids just don't realize it.
Okay, that's all right.
I think that's
We'll take it. Sure.
Let's talk about the 2017 tour. Then we'll let you guys have the floor a little bit to talk about anything you want to talk about with your band. You guys had a really good tour in 2017 with some really great bands. I think Marcy's Playground was on it. Is that right?
Marcy's Playground, yeah.
A lot of those bands that were on there, I didn't realize were even still playing. So it's kind of cool that reading about that let me know these bands are still around and still doing things. Where all did you guys tour on that tour?
Everywhere.
All the places. Yeah, that was we did a lot of busing on that one. I have some nice memories of that tour. Nice weather, food.
Let's see. We played Savannah, Georgia.
What, you're gonna name them? Like this is going to be like the alphabet song?
Yeah.
No, it's just like was it just U.S.? Was it Europe? Was it like are you guys still doing extensive touring like you did back in the 90s?
No,
nobody is though.
Nobody wants to. That's horrible. I think what we do is we pick out blocks of time, maybe a month at a time, or 3 weeks or 2 weeks here and another 2 weeks there. And we make it fit in our schedules and we make it pleasurable instead of horribly grueling because, we don't need to be out there grinding away. It's not like the old days where that's how people learned about a record or whatever. One Facebook post reaches more than a 1,000 years of flyers to a phone pole ever could. So we make it pleasurable, make it fun. And I like to plan tours around what there is good to eat in all those different cities. Savannah, Georgia was a great one because we went and we had some amazing seafood, some sort of shrimp dish, I remember, by the water. And then what do we have for breakfast? Remember we had breakfast and it was some sort of with the powdered sugar. What was that, George?
The beignets.
So good. It was so good.
Yeah.
Love it. I remember the meals more than the cities.
Diners and dives and Dishwalla.
Right. I think we should have a show because the meals for me are the most memorable part of it.
I would watch that show. Anyway, do you have any questions for the band?
You know, I realized like coming on that I don't really have like many band questions because I know them. I'm like just like want to catch up. But I love having you guys on the show. I miss you, George, and it was nice to see you again, Justin.
But you don't miss me. I get it. That's cool.
I don't know you that well.
That's messed up.
I actually was gonna say that I found like that little Black Submarine cover that we did forever ago.
Oh wow, that's funny. It's funny because didn't I make you cry during that recording? I think I made you cry during that recording because I was apparently too mean. Was I too mean?
I don't remember it that way, but I have a terrible memory. So
you probably just blacked it out from the trauma. Well, my apologies decades later for making you cry at a recording session.
He does it to all of us, Ava. Everyone.
Well, it's okay. I forgot anyway. If it did happen,
I demand perfection at all times.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys coming on the show. Is there anything that you want to tell to your fans out there that maybe they don't know or that are looking forward to some new Dishwalla? Anything about you guys that you would want your fans to know?
I want to say that what you don't know is we're all still alive. We're all still here. We haven't really been streaming like some of the other bands during COVID, and we haven't been blasting you with things to buy because, I don't know, we're just doing COVID like the rest of you. But we want to get back out there, right, guys? We want to play some shows. I got my vax. I'm good. Maybe some of the other guys are also. And
also,
yeah.
You know, I think it was exactly a year ago almost, we were asked to do a project with Alan Parsons. And we got together, and anytime we get together, we record whatever we're working on in the room when we jam, right? And so we recorded the song with Alan, and it came out really good, right? And we were working on it, whatever. And then Justin kind of took a left turn and started working on the other song that just kind of sort of came up while we got together. And that's the one that we're actually finishing that is going to be a single. So we actually, you know, in the last year we've been doing stuff, and I would say, you know, like for me, I did all that work in March of 2020, and then Justin and Jim and Scott worked for the rest of the year behind the scenes, mixing and adding layers and all that other stuff.
That's cool. Jim, do you have any?
Last week.
Go ahead. Jim, do you have anything to add to that?
You know, there's a lot of new music sitting right under the surface. So we've got a lot of stuff we've been working on since the last record. So, you know, we had probably 30 songs that didn't make it onto the last record. So we've always got a ton of material. And,
yeah.
So, you know, there's always options. So I think it's really just everybody getting back to thinking about being creative. And, you know, this last year has been kind of up and down for everybody in different ways. So, you know, it's good to I think everybody's just starting to get back into, you know, thinking about being normal life again. So, you know, we're looking forward to that as well.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you guys for being on the show. Don't go anywhere just yet. Stay right there. We're going to play our outro. I want to thank everybody. Thanks, Dishwalla. Thanks, Ava, for being on the show. Thanks for everyone who listens to The Loud Spot and supports us. Go to www.theloudspot.net, and we're going to play the outro. Here we go.
Right.
This is the Loud Spot outro by Nothing Short of Tragic. Is this all talk with no action? No. Is this my thoughts with distraction? No. Is this what I bought that's in fashion? Or is this the Loud Spot with Sebastian? Yes. Does Nothing Short of Tragic have us back again? Yes. Does everything that's good really have to end? Yes. A pin post has a pin show, so to get more episodes, make an order, this is over.
Thanks for watching our video. If you liked our video and you watched it on YouTube, make sure to click that subscribe button and click that bell to get notifications. If you watched it on Facebook, don't forget to to click the like and share with your friends. And if you watch it on Instagram, share it and give us a follow as well. Sebastian, he's going to tell you where to go to listen to the audio and get some cool merch. Sebastian?
Go to www.theloudspot.net and make sure when you go on YouTube to smash that subscribe button to make sure you get notified every time we have a new video. Subscribe on Facebook. We go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday nights. Please give us a like, give us a share, comment, tell your friends. We're trying to do this big. Peace out. Rock on. Much love.
Bye, guys.